Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna continue working on part 13 of this low-rise condominium. Let's get started. So in the last video, I showed you how to create the sheets, and then I showed you how to add them on the individual sheets, and even the rendering, and then to add border lines so that it looks professional. So now what I want to do is to send it to Twinmotion. So to do that, we need to be in the 3D view. So click right here, and then after that you want to make sure that you're in Fine, and then make sure to save it first. Close other sheets that you don't need, and then go to Datasmith. This is the Datasmith plugin that you can download at twinmotion.com, and then you'll be able to export it to Datasmith. I think that's the best way of transferring your data or your model to Revit and then to Twinmotion. So now I'm gonna select this one and then save it to whatever location you want. You can even change the name. I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then click save. And then I already open up Twinmotion, and once we have this one done, we're gonna go to Twinmotion, and then here we just need to close this and then select all of this based, that starting base that we don't need. So leave this one as well, and then leave the starting ground and landscape. Even this one we don't need. So make sure everything is deleted except for this. After that, click on import and click here, and then go to the location where you save the Datasmith. So I'm actually selecting this location, Control C, and then I'm gonna open it here, and Control V here, and then open, and then select this one. Click on import, and then just wait for it to load. Then once we load everything, we're gonna zoom out, and we're gonna see where everything is. If we need to change the height of the starting ground and those kind of stuff. So let's just wait for this to finish. So it's done. I'm zooming out only, and as you can see, everything looks good. And then it's a good idea to go to File, Sign In. So I already signed in to my Twinmotion account. And then after that, save as to the location where you want to save it. I'm gonna save it here, condo, and then click on save. And then we're done with this. So now next step is to start adding the material. So I'm gonna first start with the glass. So I'm gonna do the glass first. I'm gonna use the two-sided colored, and then right here I want it to be a little bit dark, and then put this back, Fresnel capacity, and then intensity to be like that. And then go to ambience. This is very important. Make sure the camera, and then here one of the details is parallelism. We need to check that, so it's always parallel. And then in environment or rendering, we're gonna set to lumen, and then later on we're gonna set the path tracer. So we could set it to low first so that we could see how everything is blending, and then put it back so that it's easier to work. And then we're just gonna go back and forth on those, and then we're gonna leave this lumen. And then next thing is environment. We're gonna turn on we're gonna use HDRI, and then here, actually not the HDRI, actually HDRI, and then we're gonna put the background. So you need to go back here, HDRI environment, outdoor, and then we choose sunset fairway. We're gonna drop it here, and then leave it like this for now. We could change the height. So something like this, backdrop, not the sky dome, HDRI, and then we can change the rotation on how this one affects. So we need to revise this. And then here, height offset, and then you want to make sure the size is big enough, and then the height offset so that it doesn't show too much, because we're gonna work on it like this. And then after this, we're gonna keep on checking how this one looks. So it's looking good. We're gonna set this one to white, and this one is to beige. So material, we're going to go wall covering, and then here we're gonna put this one matte paint, and then we're going to put this one to gray. Okay, and then here matte paint again, but this time this will be beige. Okay, something like that. And then of course this one to be white, so we already have that. And then use that to be white as well. We could use this one. We could go on different mega scan, for example, and then surface. We have different kinds of paint here that we could use that might be better. So stucco wall, let's try this one. I think this is perfect. Stucco wall, and then the color of it is what I was thinking of. So here, give it some time, and as you can see, this one looks good. I like the look of that. And then we select this one as well, and we want to make sure that everything is consistent on that. And then now we could do aluminum here. So the aluminum needs to be black, and you want to make sure to check the metallic. So it should be 100, so that's perfect right there. And this is gray, and then this one, I want this one to be a wood material. So let's look for a nice wood material, and then we're gonna scale it. And as you can see, that looks good right there. The warp effect on those. And then we need to pick material as well, because we want the aluminum to be consistent with the frame here. So now the framing looks nice there. So that's aluminum right there, and then we have white, and then we have beige on looking there. And we have this fixtures right here that was added before. So we're just going to review how those are affecting our model. So give me a second right there, and as you can see, the way that looks right there, it's really nice. So we're just gonna leave those ones. I don't think that it's gonna be that's gonna change a lot. And then here, let's review the window. So I just want to review it, so I'm gonna select this again. So two-sided. Instead of two-sided, I want to do a clear glass but colored in the middle of that, and then here around 30, and then around 6%. I think that's the best setting for the glass once we turn this on. And then here, so the lights here, the light fixture, it's kind of messed up. So we're going to select those ones and delete them. Because I want it to be consistent with the rest. So for now, delete them. Okay. And then we're gonna give each and every one of this. And then I want this one to be black as well, to be consistent with everything. There we go. And then we're gonna give them light just for show. Like, for example, spotlight here. Okay, and then here what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the temperature and then the intensity to around 5. And then let's check that one. So it's good enough that we have that one there, and then we're going to add them to other. So we're gonna put it to 4 more. Okay, and then grab all of this and then hold on shift, put it in the other side, and then we're just going to add it. Okay, so now once we have this, it will look like that. I want to rotate the background. So as you can see, by rotating it, it will give that effect. And then of course, we need to finalize those ones as well. And then after that, we need to add in curtains. It's very important to make it look realistic. So I'm gonna do it here for now. Rotate it 90 degrees. And let's start from the bottom. And rotate it again 180. Put your speed to number 3 only. We just need to cover this one right here. Okay. And then we could add it on other windows that we could see in the bottom. And then of course we're gonna add it at the top. Make sure you're holding shift once you're moving it so that it copies. And then we're gonna add it into this part right here. And of course, you need to be careful on adding those. Okay, so now I'm gonna add this all around at the top, especially on this part, because this is where the center, or where you're gonna look at it. So hold on shift, we're gonna do it right here, and then let's see, gonna add it there, we're gonna add it here, and here. I know we should have fixed it, but just for show, at least that one is good enough. And then we could grab one of this right here, add it here, on this part right here. Okay. And then we're gonna copy that. And then let's do the top part. It's not gonna be visible, but at least let's put some effort on adding. Some windows there and curtains on the window, sorry. So that's perfect. I think we need to add some here as well. I'm just gonna add it. Oops. Make sure you add everything. Okay. And then let's add them. Okay. There, and then let's copy the last three. Okay, so once you copy all three of them, we're just going to slide it in to the next one. So now everything is consistent. Let's see how it looks. Okay, that looks perfect. I like the way that looks. At least we have those ones, so it's not always see-through. So if we do that, we're going to increase the intensity later on. So I'm happy with that. So we're going to stop here for now and continue in the next video. Thank you for watching and hope you liked the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below.